Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to SMG Viewers Comments episode number 301. Thanks everybody who watched last week's episode 300 Mean Comments Spectacular. That was an awful lot of fun. Had a couple really interesting developments here on the channel over the last couple weeks. My 15 things everybody gets wrong while making home recordings. It got a lot of feedback and a lot of new viewers came in, new subscribers, so I just like to welcome everybody who came on board the show. And it kind of really reminded me about what this show is really supposed to be about, and that's giving you guys the best possible information about recording that I can with minimum bullshit. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more like that on Monday morning, some basic recording tutorials for everybody out there. I think on Monday we're going to be looking at ways how to record your vocals at home and not have them sound like absolute garbage. I think that's going to be really cool. Anyway, we got a lot of feedback on that video, so we're going to go over some of those right now and hopefully clear some questions up that some of you might have had.
The reality is, if you have the right equipment at home, you can make a recording as good or better than you can in a professional studio for a small fraction of the cost. If you know what you're doing, you can mix and master it just as well as a so-called mastering engineer, if you know what you're doing.
Well, Gordon, that's just the thing. Most of you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing! I've seen tracks come across that just sound fucking terrible, and I'm expected to fucking, I don't know, Harry Potter the living shit out of it and make it sound good for some reason. Yes, of course you can do it at home. Just listen to all those incredible live drum recordings you're hearing people doing in their home studios that aren't sample replaced. I think there's more than just a little bit of wishful thinking in that statement. Sure, I've heard some great stuff come out of some people's home studios. I've heard some terrible stuff come out of people's home studios. That's kind of the purpose of this show, is to hopefully help you guys make better recordings at home. As you said, if you know what you're doing. That takes experience and that takes practice. And that's why I hope you guys are here.
Here's a question that's not meant to be disrespectful. When you have that recording software and you put everything in there, presumably you have a completed product once the recording is done. Why does the artist band have to send it to Glenn? I'm not doubting Glenn's expertise or talent. I'm wondering why using the software itself is not enough.
Hey Howard, thanks for writing in. I appreciate that. That's definitely a beginner's question, and here's the simple answer. The reason why you would do that is for the same reason why I could go buy, a pallet of lumber and I wouldn't know how to build a fucking house. Because it takes knowledge and experience and craftsmanship to be able to do that. That's why you hire a fucking carpenter. Yes, you can definitely do it yourself, but if you bring in somebody who's more experienced, chances are you're gonna have a much easier time of it. That's why a lot of bands I work with, if we'll track in the studio, sometimes we'll fire stuff off to another mix engineer. I mean, like back in 2009, I did the Betrayer record, and we handed that off to Frederick Nordstrom to be mixed, and he did an amazing job at it. And of course, he was famous for doing In Flames, the Clayman record. That record sounded absolutely unbelievable. Why do we hand stuff off? It's to get somebody else's take and spin on our own project, because they can look at things from a different perspective. You can absolutely mix your own stuff at home. I'm all for that. Just remember, it takes experience to really learn what the software can truly do and how you can apply it to your own tracks.
Got a little confused after hearing there are no DI tracks, no one will take you seriously. While I understand why you're saying this, if I know what I am doing with my guitar sound and send it for mixing in a way I want it to sound, why should I add any DI? Of course, there are so many what-ifs, and this is probably really always like that, but there are no proper signals which do not need to be corrected in one way or another. Just curious. I personally do not use DIs for my recordings, as I spend days experimenting with tone, find it, record it, and finish the song. I do use DI signals for other clients, though. Thanks in advance, Edgar's.
Okay, Edgar's, let me explain it to you. Just take a fucking DI! I'm not asking for a kidney donation, for fuck's sakes! If you're recording your guitars, especially into an amp sim, just give me a fucking DI. That's all I'm asking. I'm not being difficult. I'm not asking much. I might not even want to change your tone. What we can do is take that DI and run it through a cock blocker plugin so it will clamp down on your excellently recorded guitar tracks in all the rests, so I don't have to edit out all that noise by hand, and I can save a couple hours in the editing process and move the mix further along, thereby saving your dumbass some money. The problem with not being provided with DI tracks is this. Everybody knows what they're doing. At least that's what they think, and then I wind up with a whole bunch of crap on my desk because sometimes people don't know what they're doing. A lot of times, actually. Shocker of the year, a lot of guitar players are just gonna dial in their tone so it sounds good as a guitar sound and not in the context of a mix. You know, the best advice I've been given over the years working with people way higher up the chain in the music business than I am is this: be easy to work with. So when an engineer asks you to provide a DI track, just do it. Don't be a bitch about it. Don't complain. Just do what we ask. The ultimate goal here is to get you the best result possible, not to fuck with you.
Rule number 1, stop growing your hairline, guys.
Sounds like Wade Sharp might be a little jealous.
Is it really necessary to dump all over a product that is less than a tenth the cost of the comparison? If you have any sense of intelligence, you will know that it's not going to rival the real thing. Also, you should have tried to match the Pultec as close as you can by tweaking the knobs on the clock. It's unlikely exact knob settings with the sound close to the same. Even 2 units of the exact same brand model number will not sound the same. There are plenty of aspiring engineers that would love to have had this unit struggle with gear. If you really did smash it, you don't think giving away a bin bar productive? It's likely better than your cheap Nady EQ you can get for $100 new, but I'm sure someone out there is stuck with it because that's all they can afford.
Oh, and months later, they're still bitching about my Clark Technic EQ review. Okay, Mr. Dripping Cum Sound, let me explain it to you in terms so simple that even you can understand. The Clark is a rampaging piece of dog shit. The remains are still up on the wall back there. You can see a quarter of it there. Point being is this: a plugin, which was half the price of the Clark, sounded fucking better. Should I have given it away? Fuck no, because I'm trying to drive home a point. I'm using a visual aid, smashing shit with a fucking sledgehammer to show that no, you shouldn't be using this thing on your records at all. You're better off with fucking software. You're going to get better results with fucking software than that horrible fucking pile of dog shit. Avoid it. Don't put it on your fucking records. Am I making sense here? Am I getting through? Are you getting the fucking message finally? I just love these self-righteous twats who insist, oh, you should give that away, you should give that away. It's like, do you write into movie production companies every time they roll a car in a movie? Oh, you should have given that away if somebody could have used it. Do you fucking bitch at them every time they do a stunt where something gets wrecked? Why do you insist on acting so fucking self-righteous to me? Seriously, fuck off with that shit. I couldn't care less.
Engineers are whores. I'm an engineer, and I approve of this message. Also, we need a shirt and sticker that says engineers are whores.
Okay, I'll look into it. It might take me a little while. I might be working with a new t-shirt vendor. But yeah, I think we can do that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
He makes the gag about goofing off at work, then I go in for a meeting and get fired. Fuck you, Glenn!
I don't know. Have you tried not sucking at your job?
1985 Gibson Custom Shop. Say what? I used to work for the Gibson Custom Shop in Memphis. Fun fact, Gibson started the custom shop in 1993. Before then, they just built guitars, and if you wanted it customized, you took it to a luthier and had them do it. Amazing how full of ist people can be.
Yeah, they can be full of shit, too. Okay, it's kind of funny how you wrote that out, but I think the overall message is pretty clear. Don't sell an 80s Gibson Custom Shop guitar when the custom shop doesn't fucking exist! But then again, the guy's having it refinished anyway, so we all knew he was kind of full of shit to begin with. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch Monday's episode of Stupid Musician Texts. It's an awful lot of fun. We've got cameos from Steve Terryberry and Ryan Bruce and J Letter J and 60 Cycle Hum and a whole bunch of other people. It's fucking awesome. Definitely worth checking out.
I want my snare to sound as shitty as Glenn's. The people who leave the hate comments are just pissed because they realize your up your game comments apply to themselves. Some folks will bitch and cry due to their flaws and inadequacies, while others admit to ignorance and show up to learn.
That's why I do this show. I mean, like, the whole thing started because I saw bands making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And I just thought it'd be a great way to maybe reach more people than just my local client base and show them what they needed to do before they could come into the studio. That way they'd stop wasting their fucking money. And that's this whole show is just an extension of that. Here's what you need to do to fucking stop wasting time. Here's what you need to do so you can be more productive instead of fucking around with absolute bullshit. A lot of people don't like being told that they're wrong, though, and will compensate any way they can, and that usually means a lot of personal attacks against me, but then again, they can fuck right off.
Mr. Fricker, is that really your real name? Advice. You have a good thing going on, but 2 bits of advice. Stop yelling and swearing. Please, get a haircut. It's not good to have a short name, just more mature for aging years. You look stuck in 1985.
1985, years before auto-tune came along. Yeah, back when we made something known as good music. Wasn't Metallica doing, like, Ride the Lightning back in those days? Oh, yeah, right. That was a fucking amazing record. We haven't got one of those in a while. And about the swearing thing, please stop being such a superstitious jerk-off. Words are only evil if you make them evil. I have no problems with words like shit or fuck, and I'll say it as much as I fucking please. Here's the thing, if you don't like it, watch somebody else's show. There's lots of family-friendly content out there that will certainly fit your moral parameters. But for the rest of us, seriously, fuck off with your self-righteous bullshit. And yes, Fricker is my real name, and believe me, they never let me forget it in grade school.
Hey Glenn, I was wondering if you could recommend some budget-friendly PCIe audio interfaces. The reason why I'm asking is because I want to switch to Linux and ditch Windows as a bootable OS completely. And the only way I could really achieve this and continue mixing and recording would be a pass-through of my interface to a Windows VM. It's practically impossible to do this a USB interface, which is what I currently have, but would be doable with a PCIe one.
You know, I checked out some of the offerings at Sweetwater, and I don't think the words budget and PCIe audio interface fit together. You're probably going to be looking somewhere from $800 to $1,000. I don't even know if they have Linux drivers. I mean, like, Lynx has got some stuff, and the Lynx stuff is absolutely fucking amazing. And there's some RME stuff as well. I think there's an RME with like an ADAT. You might be able to hook up a rack unit that has an ADAT out and go into this that way. Here's the thing, man. I know nothing about Linux, and from my perspective, it seems like everybody wants to go to Linux. It's just like, wow, how much more difficult can we make recording audio be? I mean, I don't know if it's really set up for that. It's a little sketchy from what I know. Of course, I'm sure there's about 10 Linux users watching this right now go, no, you fucking idiot, it's easy, you gotta do this. Is there a viable solution for PCIe recording to Linux? Because I really don't know. This is not my area of expertise. So I'm going to put the question to you guys, the Linux users out there. If you guys know of a PCIe solution that's not going to break the bank, please share it with us. Leave a comment below because we'd love to hear it. Thanks so much.
Hilarious to me that a bunch of rockers and metalheads are so damn sensitive. They'll write songs about dissolving people in acid and then cry out loud if you tell them to stop cupping the mic. Just hilarious.
Dude, you just hit the nail right on the fucking head.
I can't believe you actually have to tell people to consolidate their tracks so they start at the same time. Any self-respected musician should know this, right?
That's the problem. Not a lot of musicians have self-respect. At least that's what I've seen anyway.
After I wiped away my tears and pulled my guitar out of the trash can and patched up the hole I punched in the wall, I realized that Glenn wasn't actually mad at me. He's just trying to help us all better at this home recording shit. Also, I gotta stop eating paint chips.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate that. Yes, that is the ultimate goal, is to help you guys make better recordings at home and hopefully make you crack a smile along the way, maybe even get a laugh or two. That's the thing. If you're watching this show, bring your fucking sense of humor. Seriously. Otherwise, you're just going to be offended an awful lot. Those people are really easy to pick out. They're always on Butthurt of the Week. All right, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. We got something really hilarious coming out tomorrow. I think I got tipped off about a rather interesting distortion plugin. I'm going to take a look at that after I shoot this episode, and we'll see how it goes. Might be a funny episode. That should come out Saturday morning. Yeah. Tomorrow, Friday, actually, I got an interview with Christian Kohlekeller, the guy who does Aborted and a bunch of other fucking German bands. He's got a guitar recording lesson coming out, and it should be pretty fucking cool. Anyway, until next time, praise Crom and crush your enemies.